While he was gone, I had to close one of his cases for him that he couldn't close himself. So somebody bring me a coffee.
Hold on, to that point, I mean, I couldn't have been.
Sorry, the microphone's over here. I don't know what he's saying.
Pretty excited for what 2024 holds, and I'm excited to kind of see what it is that we're able to kind of put down on paper going forward.
Real quick, if you like trying cases, if you think that you'd be good at it because you've done it before, we are hiring a new associate. Let us know, and we may be a good fit for you.
We're hiring a marketing manager, so if you know any good marketing managers out there, I'll let your boy. Quick plug, here's a preview for the next week's weekly recap. We got Ira Combs coming, who hasn't been on the weekly recap for a long period of time.
Nice.
And maybe even a special guest. You'll only find out if you watch. So I'll see you there. Ladies and gentlemen,
Boys and girls,
welcome to another CHE Weekly Recap. This is a special one because we're on our CHE LQM, and you're looking at us after we just went through a 15-hour decision-making session. So I guess we're going to talk about what we did this week, but I'm going to start over there because Papa's really tired. John Sullivan, what'd you get into this week, man?
So this week was a return to the office for me. So, really this week has just been a lot of, prioritizing, kind of getting my hands back on the cases since I've been out of the office. But more importantly, what I'd like to talk about is what Igor and I were doing last week, which was a visit up to New York City for Trial Lawyers University. Really, the impetus behind that was the trial that we just had. I think kind of brought a lot of clarity to us about the things that we needed to square up, things that we weren't paying enough attention to, details that we thought we had on lock. And really, this is something that I think probably every trial lawyer should look inward from time to time and take stock of what do I do right? What am I not doing right? Knives get dull. So you got to keep them sharp. And for us going up there, not only did we learn a whole bunch of new stuff that we want to implement in cases, but it was also like in a lot of ways a refresher on things that we knew. I can't tell you the number of conversations that Igor and I had where, we would learn something and then we'd look at each other and be like, man, we used to do that a decade ago. And then we just weren't, right? And so I think it's important to do things like that. And I thought it was a pretty valuable experience for me. I'll let Igor speak to how it may have impacted him, but that was the biggest thing for me last week. And this week was really just kind of getting back to the grind. So, hey, what have you been up to?
This past week was, still playing catch up from the trial that Ira and I had. I can't remember, frankly, if it was the week before last or if it was, I think it actually was the week before last. Yeah. And, just kind of catching up on a lot of stuff that I, had laying over from that trial. And then really once these guys got back in town, I was actually doing a little bit of management with, one of our case manager in the pre-suit division, just to kind of make sure that certain things were kind of on point, tending to clients that I hadn't spoken to since I was in trial, and also actually tightening up some of the relationships that we have with other partners that we try cases for, and really making sure that a bunch of different providers, got paid. It's kind of incredible when I take a step back and I think about how many hours I spend just, and this isn't even what I do. It's actually generally all Igor's stuff, but, they were out of town, so I had to kind of pick up some of the slack there while they were done, doing their thing. And it was incredible. Literally 3.5, 4 days, just completely overtaken by looking at the numbers, balancing and budgeting the books, making sure the checks were actually cut correctly. And, when it comes to your trust account as an attorney, I'm sure all the attorneys out there know that that's not something you fuck around with, and you're like double and triple checking to make sure you do it right. And we're lawyers, not accountants. So obviously it takes us a lot longer to make sure that those books are looking clean and tight. But, I did a good amount of that. And then, actually one of the big things as we're getting ready to go into 2024 and planning our future and making sure that we're running like a fine-oiled machine is, reflecting on the things that we need to do better. And as we come up to our live quarterly meetings that we have as a firm, by default, because we're going to be together, we're going to be talking about things that we need to do better as a firm. You think about the things that you have failed to do or not done individually as it relates to your own tasks. And so the meeting in and of itself kind of functions as its own accountability, meeting too. So this past week, I had to design a couple different systems and policies and stuff like that for my division that I wanted to do over the past few weeks that I did not, because the trial kind of took over my focus, but I got that stuff done and was able to kind of catch up on that, which was good in preparation of the meeting. We just got done spending about 15, 16 hours tackling today. So yeah, that's pretty much what I did this past week. I would say at the end of this meeting though, that, pretty excited for what 2024 holds. I think whenever we get done with these live quarterly meetings as a firm, we always kind of, even though we don't look at it right now because we just had an exhausting day, have a new clear higher sense of purpose and new direction and more focused direction as we leave this weekend. And I'm excited to kind of see what it is that we're able to kind of put down on paper going forward. Because frankly, I think the reality is everything that we've set out to do since we've opened up our doors 6 years ago, we've built on and improved on. And, so it should be exciting to see what happens. But yeah, that's what's been going on this past week.
Cool. So yeah, the trial conference thing was it last week? Last week was pretty good. And
No, it wasn't this past week. It was the week before.
no, right. It wasn't. That's right. It was 2 weeks ago. It was pretty good. And just a quick plug to that. It's called the Trial Lawyers University. It's run by this guy whose name is Dan Ambrose. And he's kind of a crazy motherfucker, but he put together like a pretty good setup, and he had a whole bunch of different people teaching stuff. It was nice. We're definitely going to go back to it, and we're also like going to take our associates and stuff because it's a good training and a good just environment to be in if you're trying cases. Real quick, we are hiring a new associate. Ira, as our associate's been with us like 3 years now. We need another one. Probably need a couple, but right now we're hiring one. So if you like trying cases, if you think that you'd be good at it because you've done it before, but now you're in some office pushing papers and they don't let you do your thing, maybe it's time to make a move. So let us know, and we may be a good fit for you. As far as what we did this week, what I did this week, I came back. I had stuff to catch up on. I've actually been out of the office now like 3 weeks straight because I was on vacation 1 week. I was in a mastermind the week after, and then I was in the Trial Lawyer University the week after. So essentially, I've been out of the office for 3 weeks, and I had to catch up on stuff, but everything's running pretty smoothly. So the catching up really it didn't take very long to catch up. So that was great. And then one of the things that I wanted to do was build certain dashboards and things like that to help on the management side. So I was able to put a couple of dashboards together to see like big picture visibility. We have a closing department that's frankly not working as well as it should because we just had a person who was doing it quit essentially. And so now we have a new person doing it, and she's only been there like a week and a half. So she's been training and this and that. But long story short, now we have dashboards that we can look at, and it gives us like a very easy picture to see if the thing is working or not. So did that, and then just caught up on some legal work, caught up on some management stuff, and it's pretty much it. And then obviously we did this for the last 15 hours or so. So I'd say overall it's been a pretty good week so far since I've been back, and I'm looking forward to what the future holds. What about you, Cam?
One thing I wanted to say while John was here was that while he was gone, I had to close one of his cases for him that he couldn't close himself. So somebody bring me a coffee.
Hold on, to that point, I mean, I couldn't have been.
Sorry, the microphone's over here. I don't know what he's saying.
It couldn't have been served up any more on a silver platter. So you're welcome, Cam.
Yeah, you see how this goes around here. Anyway,
I was the one that kind of talk sense into client to get this thing to kind of resolve, but that does make sense because I guess I play everything out, right, John?
No, so the answer is thank you, Cam. You're welcome, John. You're welcome, Dylan.
She was down to go to trial as of the time I left the Trial Lawyers University, and then when I came back,
3
the
days
case was
later.
resolved. So
Yeah. All right, and back to me. So what we were talking about was my week. Well, after I finished covering the legal work for these guys while they were out, I got back and we got a vendor for a CRM who's going to set it up. We got a new CRM coming in. We got some campaign plans for hiring some more people because it's not just associates we're hiring. Yeah, I guess we're hiring a marketing manager. So if you know any good marketing managers out there, holla at your boy.
So you need a social media marketing manager?
No, not a social media marketing manager, a real marketing manager. So, somebody who knows what they're doing, somebody who's been involved in the legal world is a plus. So, yeah, if you know somebody who's good, get at me because we need somebody who's good. And last was just preparing for this with our 15-hour session. And quick plug, here's a preview for the next week's weekly recap. We got Ira Combs coming, who hasn't been on the weekly recap for a long period of time.
Nice.
And maybe even a special guest. You'll only find out if you watch. So I'll see you there. It's over now, and as soon as we close this, we done. So I'd like you to raise your glass. Cheers.
Cheers.
Salute to my glass that doesn't exist.
That's great.
Excellent. Well done. All right.
Nice sound effects.
That's it.
All right.
We'll see you later.